All right, Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim, Wa'akwath, learning, teaching, and truth and sincerity. Another video through the spirit. Your brother Malak from GMS Detroit. Hey, y'all, this one right here, the way I was going to title it, along the lines of your black suffering is the requirement for their white greatness. All right, and we'll see how the title comes out, but the premise being that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the biblical Edomites, the enemy of us, the Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad. For this country, America, to become great, it wasn't off of this man's merit or off of his hard work and sweat off his forehead, like how they portray it to us in the media, in schools, right, in history. For this country to have all of the technology that it has, all of the land, all of the power, even all of the knowledge, who was disposed of? You and my black and brown asses. Our bodies were the medical experiments, right? Our labor and the toil was the foundation of this country. So I just have some clips showing that. And our suffering in general. The Esau Edom, they have everything that you could fucking want on the earth. They have so-called advanced technology. They have control of people's bodies and minds with their laws. And yet, even still, one thing that they love to do is just kill us just cause. Alright, so let's let some of these clips play. I'm gonna start with these two dealing with the experimentation. His medical industry has black people to think as human fucking guinea pigs. Right? And these are the things that you aren't gonna learn in school. What he's done to us is bigger than slavery. He's done more than just that. So let's let it play.
What if I told you that doctors use poor black girls to test birth control? I'm Dr. Michael H. Ford, and this is a story you need to hear. Minnie Lee Ruff was 12 and Mary Alice was 14 when, on June 14th, 1973, staff from a federally funded clinic in Montgomery, Alabama, drove them to a hospital for what their mother believed were routine injections. She could not read the consent form and signed with the letter X. Surgeons instead performed tubal ligations, ending the sisters' fertility forever. Now, 2 years earlier, in 1971, the same clinic had inserted an experimental IUD in their older sister Katie without parental permission. Poverty and the family's limited literacy made them easy targets. Now, by the early 1970s, sterilization abuse was widespread. In North Carolina, 65% of all state sterilizations between 1929 and 1973 were performed on black women, who made up only 25% of the female population. And a federal review in 1974 uncovered at least 80 minors sterilized without real consent across over 3,000 publicly funded clinics. Eugenic thinking and racist policy framed poor black girls as unfit to make decisions about their own bodies. There were no enforceable federal safeguards, so local doctors and social workers acted unchecked. Consent forms were rushed, unread, or never shown at all. Reproductive control for black families became social policy rather than a personal right. After discovering the scars, the Ruff parents turned to the Southern Poverty Law Center. Their lawsuit, Ruff versus Weinberger, filed in March 1974, forced the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare to ban any future federally funded sterilizations without strict, informed consent rules and waiting periods. The Ruff sisters lost their chance to decide whether to become mothers, but their fight rewrote national standards of bodily autonomy and protected thousands who came after them. Their pain became policy change, and their story still warns us how quickly rights can be taken if we are not vigilant. Healing starts.
So right there, y'all. Hey, and y'all just saw the picture. So this ain't made up, and this isn't a critical race theory. These women, and here it is, right? You have all these bitches running around screaming feminism, and many of you black women have fallen for the trap. Here it is, them pills, all that, those tools given to you so that you can be able to have sex freely without having a child. Your people were the test subjects for that shit. Unpaid, unwillingly, and were not capable of having children after it was all said and done. Your trusty, dusty American government. So especially, hey, you black women who are all wrapped up in that feminism movement, you're completely brain dead. The Edomite women don't want nothing to do with you. They hate you, and they used you to make advantage. Hey, y'all know, I wish I had that clip. You had the Edomite doctor who was given he was doing gynecological work on black women's vaginas without the use of anesthesia. Come on, man. This is just another. I could do this all day. This is just another walk in the park for me. Another day of evidence like this. Us being the guinea pigs for this place. And who's the so-called white man's number one supporter? The black woman. Meanwhile, you've been his number one fucking subject and object of torture. Ain't that some twisted shit, y'all? They didn't did the sisters bad, and the sisters love them subconsciously. Many of them consciously.
What if I told you doctors watched black men suffer on purpose? I'm Dr. Michael H. Ford, and this is a story you need to hear. In 1932, the United States Public Health Service recruited nearly 600 black men in Macon County, Alabama, including a man named Charlie Pollard, with the promise of free care. But what they got instead was a 40-year experiment. The government knew they had syphilis. They just wanted to study what happened when it went untreated. The men were never told they had the disease. They were given fake medicine, denied access to real treatment, and misled with offers of hot meals and quote-unquote special free procedures that were really painful spinal taps. So by 1947, penicillin was widely available and known to cure syphilis, but the doctors running the study blocked the men from getting it. Even during World War II, when some of the men were drafted and diagnosed during the physicals, researchers intervened to keep them from receiving treatment, just to keep the experiment going. The toll was devastating. 28 men died directly from syphilis, 100 more from complications, 40 wives were infected, and 19 children were born with the disease. The study finally ended in 1972 after a whistleblower leaked the truth to the press. Charlie Pollard became one of the voices demanding justice. A class action lawsuit followed. In 1997, President Bill Clinton publicly apologized to the survivors, calling the study shameful and racist. The Tuskegee study wasn't a secret. It was public science built on private suffering. And it didn't just cost
Public science built on private suffering.
lives. It left behind generations of mistrust that still shape how black Americans view the medical system today. We can't change what happened.
And rightfully so. We have every reason to distrust this mass system, which is why when that jab came out, y'all, who did they say they need to hit first? The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because we be avoiding them. And we have every rightful reason to avoid them. So let's get some precepts. Get this Sirach 13, and I'll start at 11. Right, this is dealing with the difference between the rich man and the poor man. Now in this world, you know, Esau's the rich and we're the poor, flat out. Sirach 13 and 11. Affect not to be made equal unto him in talk, and believe not his many words. For with much communication will he tempt thee, and smiling upon thee will get out thy secrets. But cruelly he will lay up thy words, and will not spare to do thee hurt, and put thee in prison. So he'll speak good unto you, and then he will hurt you, y'all. He will entice you. Oh yeah, come do this. Oh yeah, come get these jabs. Then you drop. All right. Oh yeah, come. Your children must learn, you know, labiquita rights. And now your son grows up to be a he-she, right? This man will speak smooth, will lure you in, and then he'll destroy you, whether it be literally or psychologically. And that's what he specializes in. That's how Esau Edom gets down. Jumping back up, verse 4 actually. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yeah, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. And that's what he does to us. He makes use of you. And after you've been used, he will discard you. And you will die painfully and slowly, and like a fool for trusting Esau Edom, which many of our people do. Look at the celebrities. They get to the top, they live it up, and then what? They all crash under some sort of allegation or this or that. It's the same old playbook. Give a nigga some ice cream, let the nigga walk up to the top of the steps, then blow the nigga head off. You know? Like, goddamn, Jake. So bringing it back, right? had those two clips. Let's get this. Let's get some more of the slaughters, the atrocities that he's done to us throughout the years. I'll just knock the volume, right? So, as I said, what FBI taught the Triple K how to make bombs that killed 4 little girls. The famous bombing, right? Gary Thompson Rowe infiltrated the Triple K for the FBI. They paid him to get close to T's. Instead, he became one. He taught K men to build bombs, beat freedom riders, shot a civil rights worker. September 15, 1963, his Triple K buddies bombed 16th Street Baptist Church. You have the Baptist Church bombings. In the basement, 4 girls were putting on white choir robes. And the 4 girls. You know, I know you older brothers and sisters. Y'all grew up with this information, right? Hey, some of these girls who died, they could have went on to be some of y'all's grandparents, right? If they were, they're would have been born in the 50s, right? Some of our grandparents were born in the 50s and 60s, y'all. And what ended up happening to them? The blast blew them apart. One was decapitated. Another's body was so mangled, her family identified her by her shoes. Goddamn. The FBI hid Rowe's involvement for 15 years. No one was convicted until 1977, and Rowe was never charged. So how about that? Do all that evil and then ride off into the sunset. And that was that's the United States alphabet group, a legal government entity, the FBI. Doing acts like that. So if those are things that they're willing to tell us on paper, what more do you think that they're doing that we just don't know about? Come on now. This is our history here. This has not been a smooth ride for us. So for any Negro to love this place, for being patriotic, you're a fool. And for any Edomite, oh baby, y'all just need to do right. Well, whenever we try to do right, you just still kill us anyway. So what's going to have to happen is the Lord's going to come back and destroy this place. That's the true answer.
As I'm about to share with you a very disgusting pattern. Jonah Lubrin, Orlando, Florida, found nearly naked and hanging from a tree, ruled a suicide. Denoris Richardson, Colbert County, Alabama, found hanging from a tree, ruled a suicide. Lennon Lacey, Bladenboro, North Carolina, found hanging from a tree, ruled a suicide. Robert Fuller and Malcolm Harsh, both found dead in the state of California, hanging from trees, and ruled a suicide. And now most recently, Earl Smith, Albany, New York, found hanging from a tree and ruled a suicide. Those 6 names that I just listed make up only a very small fraction of the amount of black men, women, and children that have gone missing over the decades since the 50s. Out of all the methods of suicide, with the most common being a self-inflicting gun wound, you're telling me that it's only ever black people that decide to take their own life using rope outside? I will never believe that. The victims' families will never believe that. The black community will never believe that. And as the police continue to play in our face for years to come, as the most ignorant of people will continue to call us victims and say we're playing victim, I hope that this message gets out to the right people to recognize that this shit is real. Modern day lynchings are very real, and they have no problem continuing to rule it a suicide when these literal people, these human beings, are being found hanging 10 feet off the fucking ground with zero news coverage. And let me be clear before I make the following statement. I do not wish this on anybody. That being said, let it be one white man or one white woman found hanging from a tree, that amount of attention and news coverage would surpass Gabby Petito. For this upcoming 4th of July weekend, people, everyone, please.
So, yeah, hey, and when the last time y'all heard of a black person hanging a white boy? You saw Start Jacob's Trouble on that day. If that should happen. But this is just a common thing in America. niggas just hanging out in public, like he said, suspended in the air. Now, y'all, keep in mind, y'all, not just the average so-called black person, the average American doesn't know how to tie a proper knot, K-N-O-T, let alone a nigga knows how to tie a knot secure enough to hold their entire body weight until they choke to death. The average American doesn't know rope play that well. And then as well, to be a nigga went and hung himself on a telephone pole outside. Ain't no chairs or ladders around. It's come on. So they're still lynching Jacob. Which, what is the history with America and Negroes hanging? It's plentiful and all over the place. All right, niggas in the world believe in hell. Niggas know not to kill themselves because of hell, in their mind. Suicide is highly frowned upon in the black community, especially some shit like hanging yourself. That's a complete joke. But once again, when you're dealing with Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the devil, he can do things like that and get away with it. And our people dying is the basis for his country to be established. He literally had to kill to acquire this land, y'all. He didn't get it peaceably. Even though now he has things in control, he doesn't have to kill us anymore. He still chooses to. That's in his nature. It hasn't gone away. That's why, hey, we can stay in the book of Sirach all day. Sirach 12 and what? 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. So his rust isn't wiped away, y'all. He's still that same evil man who does all these evil things just cause. He doesn't have to have a reason. He doesn't have to have a motive. He doesn't have to have a purpose. He's a natural born murderer. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't have to eat niggas and fuck on them and eat them. Which, he's a faggot. They're faggots, so that was their judgment. But you could have just killed them. You didn't have to freak off on them and eat them. Damn. That's how these people get down. And that is the history of this country that this so-called white man are trying to brush away and sweep under the rug. That is the literal, actual history of this land, and it will not go away. This place is blood stained, y'all. Blood stained. With righteous Israelites and wicked Israelites both alike, right? Nevertheless, blood fucking stained with the things that he's done to us. Who are we kidding? Oh, what does it say? I believe, what is that? Revelation 18, the blood of the saints. Revelation, give me 1 second. 17, drunk on the blood of the saints. Give me 1 second, y'all. No, I'm looking right at it. Yep, 6. Revelation 17 and 6. And upon her head was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. This place is soaked in our blood, y'all. Literally. That's not just a euphemism or a metaphor. This northern kingdom and southern kingdom, Judah and Israel, were oppressed here together. That is how this land was built. This land is your land. This land is my land. From the sea of love. Bullshit. What do you say, from Rhode Island, California, something to Rhode? Bullshit, y'all. Got you singing. These niggas is murderers. These niggas are actual murderers. Got you singing 5 and 6 and shit. They got you singing to hide from the fact that they've butchered you and put you at every disadvantage that one human being could fucking be at. Like, goddamn. You don't even let niggas sleep good no more. As if we ever did. But I got more clips. Alright, so I got this next clip. It's gonna be your man Charleston talking, right? Which he ain't saying nothing we ain't heard. And he niggas start off good talking about the people, then they get some internet money, and that's what they stick off to. But he's gonna be making some good points. So let's hear it.
As bad as niggas been done in the United States of America, we used to have to our mamas to make babies. The black boy used to get a bag put on his head, and all he did was he his sister. He had to his aunties. They used to breed us, homie. They just cut off. He his sister. He had to his aunties. They used to breed us, homie. They used to cut our dicks off. Niggas used to have to hang and get his cut off and put in his mouth. They used to have their way with us. You think I ain't racist and I know my history? And we still getting done bad. And I'm sick of how niggas get done and we can't be racist. Very racist.
And, so this is from one of his interviews. And, straight up, hung, sexually mutilated, dead and alive, right? Just per usual. So who really has fatigue? Hey, we tired of niggas too, but this whole black fatigue thing, from what I understand, that the word, when it was originally started to be used, it was actually dealing with black people being tired in this country because of the mistreatment and foul play. But now, Esau Edom doing what he does best, takes things and changes them, right? Newspeak. He changed black fatigue to be everybody is tired of black people. No, we're tired. Well, we're tired of y'all. I'm the elect, right? The hopeful elect. We're tired of niggas and we're tired of Edom. So how about that? We got everybody fucking fatigue. And in this patch of grass known as America, North, Central, and South, and Canada, can't forget those Canadian cocksuckers because they're not angels neither. They did Gad hella crazy, right? You had the 60 scoop kidnapping and doing Gad crazy, right? Starlight tours, dropping Gad off in freezing cold temperatures, driving them out of the cities while they're drunk and whatnot. You devils have a vile history of how you've done us, and you want to paint yourselves as if you made this country great through your own merit, but you did not. You built this bitch up off of our backs and our bloodshed, and you cannot change history to erase that. In fact, we'll go to Isaiah, 51? We laid our backs even as the ground for this fucking place, y'all. And we don't get no credit. We don't get no respect. People make fucking memes about us. The usual suspects. We was kings. You fucking cocksuckers. Ain't that some real shit, y'all? Things that you wouldn't even think we had involvement in, we put together. Do we get any credit? Nope. You wouldn't know about it unless you gotta go buy one of them damn Black Inventor books. Here it is, me and Ariel, we was watching a commercial the other day. It was a Jack Daniels commercial came on. And it's actually funny. Jack is a variation of Jacob, and Daniel, is Daniel, two Hebrew names. But a whole black slave made the recipe for Jack Daniel. Do you think any of his descendants get any of that royalty money? Fuck no, of course not. So who are we playing here? Who are we kidding? Isaiah 51 and 23. And this is what we're waiting on. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over. We became the foundation of this land in every facet and every premise that it took to build up this kingdom, just like ancient Egypt. This is why the heathen love to have Israelites as slaves, because we make kingdoms great. We make our bodies a fucking sacrifice. Here it is. We're supposed to be a sacrifice for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Niggas make it a sacrifice for the beast system. We became the stepping stones of this man's kingdom, and soon he's going to become the stepping stones of ours. How about that? I got one more clip. Some bitches. Another little tidbit, something else they done took and stole that you didn't know about.
I bet you thought you were wearing denim. Whole time you've been wearing Negro cloth. In the 17th and 18th centuries, the people who wore denim enslaved black people in the South and Caribbean.
The material was rough, hard, and not even suitable for animals. But we took the indigo, one of America's biggest crops before cotton, and dyed it blue. We took clothing scraps and pieced them with our denim. We adorned them with beads. And this was before Dapper Dan. We turned denim into a symbol of resistance.
Sometimes called Negro or slave cloth, but more importantly, the black roots of American style. Right after the Civil War, Levi Strauss popularized denim jeans. As soon as
Levi Strauss, hence Levi jeans.
we got free, our culture was used for profit.
Levi Strauss marketed them for white workers in the West, making denim a symbol of rugged masculinity and blue-collar labor. They tried to detach it from its black roots. Y'all really tried it.
But we will never be erased. We are black. We are style. We are America. I bet you thought you were...
So right there, them style of jeans come from Jake. Did you know that? I didn't know that. But everyone should be familiar with Levi Strauss, right? And Esau doing what they do. So once again, y'all, we create, they take. We create, they take, and they take it and become great while we become debased. This is our reoccurring theme here. And so what we're waiting on, y'all, is to be avenged of this man. Right here, and I just want to get this out of Revelation 11. All right, these nations, they rejoiced when we were down. Right, Revelation 11 and 10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. So they were happy to have us down. Right? Now that the Spirit is coming back upon us, now it's a problem. But that's too bad, too sad, as the saying goes. This country was not built up by the sweat of hardworking white people. All right? And this was it. You got here. Gad and Reuben showed you how to survive. You butchered and slaughtered them, broke treaties. You went and pushed the other tribes of Northern Kingdom further south, and then you went and rounded our asses up out of the west coast of Africa and several parts of Europe, and that's how you got this country, through our labor and toil. All right, keep it a whole buck. Hey, so with that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachachorash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim. Wa Akwath, learning, teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom.